The two-strike pitch to Donaldson. High and tight with a fastball. Oh, my. Report from Cincinnati. The Dodgers, who led throughout the entire ball game 1-0, lose it. Scored twice in the bottom of the ninth inning. 2-1 Cincinnati. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Donaldson chasing that straight change that was acting like a screwball and floating outside. And Andy Messersmith has logged his 192nd strikeout of the year. With a big night tonight in the K department, Messersmith could reach 200 for the year. He's currently the third best strikeout in the American League, behind McNowell and Lulich. Here's young Danny Walton. He takes the curve outside. This burly young right-handed hitter acquired from the Houston Astros in the trade that sent Tommy Davis to the Dome. He's a Los Angeles boy. The pitch, fastball fouled at the plate, 1-1. Walton, in fact, attended Bishop Amat High School, which is located about 10 miles from the Big A. So quite a thrill for him to return home and play in front of his family tonight. 1-1 pitch by the Baron. Curve just misses the outside edge. Totals in Cincinnati, 2-7-2 for the Reds, 1-6-0 for the Dodgers. The winner, Granger, the loser, Sutton. They had 6,400 at Crosley Field. The pitch, check swing roller right back to the mound. An easy play for Messersmith, and he retires the Pilots in order. 1-2-3 inning for Seattle, and after a half inning at the Big A, the Pilots nothing, the Angels are coming to bat. Vivian Daniels won $1,500. Paul Pryorly won $3,000. And Don Du Bois won $25,000. Kent Newport and Cruz home run for the money. And there's still plenty of chances left to win big money. The last entry date for the final week's game is passed, but the last game is yet to be played, so there's thousands of dollars ready and waiting for some lucky fan. So keep listening. If your name is called during the home run inning, you can collect over $1,000 for a home run or $25,000 for a Grand Slam homer. The very next home run could have your name written on it. Since Home Run for the Money began in March, over 150,000 Angel fans have sent in entries, and $14,700 have been given away. The makers of Kent, Newport, and True Cigarettes want to thank all you fans who sent in entries. Your enthusiastic response is the reason for the game's success. We hope you enjoyed Home Run for the Money, and that it has made listening to Angel games more exciting than ever before. Now, the veteran George Brunette making his first Anaheim Stadium appearance since being traded to Seattle a few months ago. And George certainly handcuffed the Angels up at Sick Stadium a couple of weeks ago as he tossed a five-hitter, winning 5-1. Only Aurelio Rodriguez's short home run got the Angels on the board. And Brunette himself lined his second major league home run. Sandy Alomar leads off, to be followed by Jay Johnstone and Jim Ferguson. Alomar's continued fine play in the second half of the year certainly has helped to ignite the fine showing of the Angels since the All-Star break. He's hitting .250, batting right-handed against Brunette. Brunette is 8-12 on the year, 2-5 in a Seattle uniform. The first pitch to Alomar is high. Harper in on the grass at third. Kennedy and Donaldson equidistant from second base. Mincher bagged high and off the line at first. The outfield playing Alomar medium deep, and Ford left a few steps. One ball pitch, swung on, popped up, foul territory. Mincher has a play on it as he moves through Rocky Bridges' coaching box and makes the catch. One out, and Jay Johnstone the hitter. Johnstone, the leading Angel average, .266, with 9 home runs. And one of those home runs, the last one on Friday night, was $7,200 in our Home Run for the Money contest. Wouldn't you know that Dave Niehaus would give away the money? The way he makes little wagers, it only figures that he should give it away. The pitch to Johnstone is outside, ball one. And I thank, too, Dave, for the fine job that he's done all year, allowing us to move back and forth to cover the Rams game. Dave with the night off. He'll be back at work this weekend in Oakland. The pitch, check swing, and it's line foul right by the on-deck hitter Fergosi, and off the protected screen in front of the box seat. Fergosi now moves out of the on-deck circle and hides down behind the railing that protects the inside corner. He goes into the dugout, does Fergosi. Johnstone goes to the on-deck circle and uses a pine tar rag. And back to home plate. The count 1-1. Mccartney, the catcher for Brunette. Harper, Donaldson. Here, Harper, Kennedy, Donaldson, and Mincher on the infield. Walton, Hobley, and Whitaker in the outfield from left to right. Third deep and toward right field. 1-1 pitch. Bounce to the mound. A leaping stop by Brunette, who throws out Johnstone for the second out. Brunette had to wait. In fact, had to retreat down the back slope of the mound and then leaped up the one-hand ball, and from there it was an easy play for the second out. Here's Jim Ferguson, the shortstop. Jim hitting .258. Jim with 11 home runs. Leads the Angels in doubles, triples, runs scored, and bases on balls. In fact, we just figured out Ferguson's on-base percentage. If you add the times up that he has walked, the pitch, high with a fastball. You add the 90 walks to his at-bat total and 90 walks with his hits. Jim's on-base percentage over .360. Brunette takes plenty of time as he stares down at Ferguson and his catcher Mccartney. Now winds, kicks and delivers. Swung on a long drive to left field. It's high and deep, and Ferguson will touch them all. He caught a high curveball, and it was a high cannon shot over the left field fence at the 366 sign. Back in a hurry was Danny Walton, and pressed his back against the wall, and then only could look up and admire the distance as the Angels take a 1-0 lead. 12 home runs for Ferguson. Here's Reichard, a high curveball, ball one. Reichard now, and Ferguson lead the Angels in home runs with 12 apiece. Reichard hitting .258. The RBI leader for the Halos, 65. The pitch. Curve, high and tight, 2-0. Mondays have been very kind for the Angels. They have won 10 out of 14 Monday games. The last 3 in a row. 2-0 pitch. High again with a fastball, 3-0. The only difference that might be noted in Brunette's style from when he wore the Angel uniform, his motion much less elaborate and a little slower at times. Curve is inside, and Ferguson walks, or Reichard walks on 4 straight pitches. Right fielder Billy Cowan steps in. Billy has done a fine job for the Angels, coming from the Yankees, hitting .333 with 3 home runs. Final from Kansas City. The Royals scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning, but that was not enough. Minnesota wins it 4-3, so the Twins have clinched the American League Western Division title. The pitch to Cowan, grounded foul by Mike Ward. Winner was Bob Miller, the loser Jim Rooker. They had 7,700 at Municipal Stadium in Kansas City. The final, Minnesota 4, Kansas City 3. The Twins have now popped the cork. They're celebrating with champagne and will meet the Baltimore Orioles for the American League representation in the World Series. Reichard leads away at first, Mincher holding him on. And Brunette goes to first, and Reichard barely got back in time. Reichard fooled by the move and just did get his cleats on the sack before Mincher applied the tag. Brunette, of course, with that excellent move, at the belt again, checks Reichard. And the pitch. High with a fastball. Mccartney had to jump out of his crouch to love that one over his head. 1-1. Cowan, Joaz, Q on deck. Angels with a 1-0 lead, 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. Outfield very deep and pulled toward left for Cowan. Brunette has his sign. At the belt, the 1-1 pitch. A curve pops up into shallow left field. Out goes Kennedy. In comes Walton. Kennedy has a play on it and makes the catch. Before the Angels in the first inning, they get a run on Ferguson's 12th home run of the year. No errors, and leave one. And after one, the Angels won, Seattle nothing.
Friends, picture this scene, if you will. Now, you've been on the road for hours. The kids in the back seat are getting noisy and restless. Your wife needs to freshen her face, and, well, you could stand a breather yourself. Well, at this point, the most refreshing place to stop is at a standard station or Chevron dealer. Because you can always count on smiling, helpful attendants and clean restrooms with gleaming mirrors and plenty of fresh paper towels. It's guaranteed to put you back on the road fresh and ready for the miles yet to come. So when you're traveling, there's always something nice to look forward to at Chevron dealers' standard stations. There are more Chevron dealers' standard stations in the West than any other brand, and more experienced men on hand to serve you. More men, more stations, open more hours of the day. That's the secret of Chevron standard service.
1-0 Angels behind Andy Messersmith, who will face Steve Hobley, Don Mincher, and Jerry McCartney here in the Seattle second inning. Andy Messersmith going for his 17th win of the year. Just playing wouldn't it be nice but if Messersmith could win each of his last 3 starts, he would have 19, and it's conceivable he might even be used in short relief to try to pick up the 20th. The pitch to Hobley is high with a fastball. Hobley, from Stanford University, signed originally by the Angels and picked up by Seattle in the expansion draft, is hitting .285, left-handed batter. The pitch, a curve on the inside edge, strike one. Hobley has 3 home runs. And it would appear that Danny Walton and Steve Hobley are names we're going to hear about for a long time from Seattle. Foul to the screen as he just did nip a fastball. The count of ball and 2 strikes to Hobley. Squared away stands. Stands a good distance away from the plate. The pitch, curve, swung on it. This strike 3. Messersmith has his second strikeout of the night. 1 away in the second. Here's first baseman Don Mincher.
First baseman Don Mincher.
What was the old thing when you took typing lessons? In order to use all the keys, a lazy brown dog jumped over the little red fox or something like that. What was it? It wasn't the dog's back. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog's back, and that uses all of them. Yeah, well, maybe not all of them, but James is outside. Well, I see where Western Union is breaking away from the tradition. The pitch to Mincher, a fastball outside 2-0. In checking the typing service that sends us the scores from around the country, they're using Western Union Pitcher Service, Excel's Quiz Manager for details, reject old and apply best method. I think I like the other better, the old one better. And then immediately tested the consecutive numbering system and made about 3 errors. There's another expression that they use too on the keyboard. Every good dog deserves his day. 2-0 pitch is swung on and popped high into shallow center. Johnstone coming in, staring up into the hazy night, and makes the catch. 2 away. Very high fly ball off the bat of Mincher. A final from Houston, Atlanta, staying in the thick of that National League Western Division fight. The Braves beat the Astros 5-3. Phil Necro, the knuckleballer, won his 21st against 13 losses. Larry Dierker, the loser, he's 20-11. They had 9,800 in Houston. 5-3, Atlanta, the winner. Here's Jerry McCartney, batting .248. Catcher, right-handed hitter, looks at a fastball low. McCartney has been a solid performer all year for the Pilots. He has 8 home runs and 53 runs batted in. Don Mincher, batting .237, is the club leader in home runs and RBIs, 23 and 73. 1 ball pitch, curve low. Well, after all that noise in Baltimore yesterday, as the Rams beat the Colts 27-20, this is kind of a pleasant contrast. A very quiet night here at Anaheim Stadium. Brought back a couple of notes from the Baltimore newspapers regarding the Orioles, and there's actually a plea out to get more people into the park. Off the end of the bat, right to Messersmith. 1 hopper flips on to center for the out, and the Pilots are gone again in order. We'll bring you the Baltimore report a bit later. 1, 2, 3 for the Pilots, and after 1.5 at the Big A, the Angels won. Seattle, nothing.
Dick, I'll bet you a bush on how long the game lasts. Let me see. I'll put down 2 hours and 21 minutes.
All right. I'm going to say 2 hours and 58 minutes. And that's too bad.
For me?
For anybody sitting there at home with only 1 or 2 bush on hand.
It would be tough to go without or to get more while the game's still on.
Sure would.
Hey, but maybe his wife's not doing anything.
I bet if he asks nice, he might just go out and get a 6-pack of Bush, the best popular price beer in America.
2 6-packs. She'll enjoy a Bush, too.
Bush. Best popular price beer. Have a glass. Or visit our Los Angeles brewery, and we will prove it.
Bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Angels. And left-hander George Brunette to face Joe Askew, Jim Spencer, and Aurelio Rodriguez. Askew hitting .224. Close stance. Joe's batting practice was hitting one line drive after another. Even he was surprised at himself. He said that's the best he's hit the ball all year as an Angel. The pitch by Brunette. Inside. Oh, he's got some real fans out in the general admission section up in the upper deck in left field. I'd say maybe 50. Those are the real fans. They're all by themselves. Check swing, it's low, 2-0. I think that those folks ought to be invited to come in and sit closer. All those seats between where they are and behind home plate. I think that'd be a great gesture if we went down there and said, come on, fans, come on down and join the rest of us. I think that'd be a great idea. I wonder if there are any fans out there listening on the radio that maybe we can get something going out there with them. The pitch, high, 3-0. Wonder if we couldn't do that. They're all by themselves out there, and those are the best fans in the world. All right, 3-0 to Askew. Bottom of the second inning. The wind, the pitch by Brunette. High, and Askew leads off with a walk. Second given up by Brunette. And we'd like to remind you there are more Chevron dealers standard stations open more hours of the day than any other brand in the West. There are also more men on hand to serve you, and that's the secret of Chevron standard service. Jim Spencer, the hitter for the Angels, batting .245 with 8 home runs. Terry Halo at work. That's going to be your guest tomorrow night on the pregame show.
Right. Jay's got Jay free. Good talk things over tomorrow night, Dick.
Brunette at the belt. Check Spencer. Here's the pitch. High fly ball, foul, back into the mezzanine level, skipped out and down into the lower deck. I tell you what, I'd make sure I had rubber-soled shoes on before I shook hands with him.
Well, I did that. I got a jolt yesterday. His power was a little weak, though. It was a little low.
Is he AC or DC, do you know? Brunette with one strike on Spencer. No one out. Askew at first. And here's the left-handed pitch. Line drive, right field, base hit. Askew lumbers around second. He's on his way to third. The throw from right field. Askew slides. He's out. On a strong throw by Steve Whitaker. Askew does not have great speed and is favoring a sore ankle. Took a big turn around second. He did not take the shortest distance. And as he made a looping swing from second to third, he was just a little short on his slide. A very close play at third as Whitaker shot a one-hopper into the third baseman, Tommy Harper. So Askew out at third, 9-5. Spencer with a second Angel hit at first base. One out, and here's Aurelio Rodriguez hitting .234. Brew has his sign at the belt, looks at the runner and delivers. Swung on and popped up behind the plate. Mccartney near the Seattle dugout. He just runs out of room as he reaches in, trying to jackknife over the low barrier protecting the inside edge of the dugout, and the ball just out of his reach fell down into the dugout right over the shoulder of manager Joe Schultz. One strike
next, Aurelio, who has raised his RBI count up to 49. He has 7 home runs. Angels lead on Jim Ferguson's 12th homer of the year, bottom of the first inning. Brunette studying the time. Now at the belt. Looks at center and the pitch. Swung on, popped up, right side of the diamond. Donaldson floating toward first base. Under it now, makes the catch on the infield dirt. 2 away. Mention that in Baltimore, despite the fact that the Orioles have the team that many feel is the best in the American League, if not in the Major Leagues, they have drawn for the season at home 969,000, and they have 5 dates remaining. So some of the columnists back there in the Chesapeake area are trying to pound the drums, getting fans to come out for the final 5 games. They feel it would be somewhat embarrassing if that fine Oriole team did not attract 1 million fans, and certainly they would be deserving of that. Brunette checks Spencer as he works now to Andy Messersmith. The first pitch is swung on and foul tips into the glove of McCartney. Messersmith hitting 164.
Isn't it amazing when they say that, this city wants a winner, and you talk about winning the overall thing. Their record at home, 59 victories. They've lost only 19 games in Memorial City. Talk about being a winner.
And they're using that as the excuse now. Swung on a drive down the left field line. It's hit well. Into the corner goes Walton. He reaches up and one-hands it on the warning track. Young Danny Walton in left field with a fine catch, racing as hard as he could into the corner at the warning track, reached up and backhanded it in the air and took one more step into the cushion barrier in front of the box seat. The Angels are denied in the second inning, although they hit the ball hard. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. And after 2 at the big A, the Angels 2, Seattle nothing. Before you know, the baseball season will be drawing to a close, and really there's nothing anybody can do about it. It used to be that way with summer vacation season, too. Come September, the kids back in school, and you go back down to months of work with really no relief in sight until the following summer and vacation time. But Continental Airlines has helped to change all that. Now listen, Continental has many tours to many of your favorite vacation spots at good savings in the air and on the ground. 3 days and 2 nights in Chicago, or 3 days and 2 nights in Houston, Texas, or 3 days, 2 nights in New Orleans, or how about Denver and the Rockies, all at special rates. About all you have to do is decide to steal away for those 3 days. Continental will sneak you and your family away from it all. So call your travel agent. Or if your travel agent's on a mini tour himself and doesn't answer the phone, call Continental at 776-5000. Continental Airlines, the airline that's better because it wants to be. Top of the third, Dick Enberg with Don Wells and Dick Nelson. Mighty happy you joined us from the Big A, our final home series of 1969. And in the top of the third, Steve Whitaker leading off against Andy Messersmith. Here's Don Wells.
Hi, Dick. And Whitaker hitting .242, 4 homers, 9 runs driven in. The Angels 1 run, 2 hits, and Andy goes to work on the first delivery, and this one drops too low to make it ball 1. It'll be Whitaker, then John Kennedy, and then the pitcher, George Brunette. The outfield of Cowan, Johnstone, and Reichard are on Smiley 2, the right for him, and the next delivery changed with a curve in for a strike to make it 1-1. Just speaking of that Baltimore team, the fact that the Orioles are 59 games over 500 for the year. They have won 106, lost 47. The Indians, when they won the pennant in 1954, wound up 58 games over the 500 mark. Curve is in the dirt, and the count is ball 2-1. Of course, Cleveland involved in a 154-game schedule in 1954 to finish 58 games over that 500 mark. But the Orioles right now, 59 games over that figure. Tremendous record. 2 deliveries, fastball, clipped foul back on the screen, and the count is 2-2. Hey, Dick, we received a late weather report from Kansas City. It's raining heavily in Kansas City. It's raining indoors in Kansas.
Effervescent.
It's raining indoors in the Minnesota clubhouse in Kansas. 2-2 delivery coming up. And the man works it. Smash foul down the first base side. Ripped. Oh, he ought to get $5 bill for that. Get the target there. Hit the bullseye. Went right into rolled up tarp. And the ball boy now retrieves it. Ball 2 and strike 2. Left-handed batter, Steve Whitaker. Rodriguez and Ferguson almost shoulder to shoulder. Left side of the infield. Change here. The change. The breaking ball swung out of this by Whitaker for strike 3. So Aggie now has achieved a strikeout per inning. One down here, shortstop John Kennedy. John's average at 243. 4 homers, and he's knocked in 13 runs. And then we're down to the pitcher spot for the home run man up at Sixth Stadium in Seattle, George Brunette. Ball hit by Brew up in Seattle, too. Didn't take advantage of the cheap distances in that ballpark. Slider for a strike, and it's 0-1. So in the National League West, Dodgers now dropping their 71st game of the year. Cincinnati a winner, and Cincinnati has lost 70. Curve for a strike, and it's 0-2. Giants on top. Count of 2 strikes on Kennedy. 1 out, nobody on. Angels lead it 1-0 on Ferguson's homer and the pitch. Breaking ball there for a strike, and Kennedy took just a quick take at this, and then back at the plate umpire, he's a gunner. Take a moment right here and pause for station identification now that Andy has his 4th strikeout. This is the Angels Baseball Network.
KBUZ and KBUZ FM Mesa, now 100,000 watts vertical plus 100,000 watts horizontal power in stereo.
First delivery in for a strike to Brew, and it's 0-1. So Cincinnati beating the Dodgers 2-1. There's some action here, and the fence, someone has been waved goodbye off the Seattle bench. At least that was the impression we received, though Joe Schultz doesn't come out. Maybe it's just a hand signal here to tone down the bench. A little extra conversation coming off the pilot's bench after Kennedy was out of there on strike, called out on strikes, and George Brunette is just trying to, I think, stifle a laugh here. George wandered away from home plate, turned his back on home plate, walked up the third baseline, kept his hand over his mouth. Apparently something is still being said down to the pilot's bench. The motion and the 1-strike pitch down to Brew. Bounced foul along the third base side. Left just outside the line by Rodriguez. And it's a 2-strike count. Fans thought the ball would roll fair, but it was outside the line by about a half a foot. With 2 down, nobody on, and the Angels leading 1-0. The game between the Giants and the Padres underway, and the Giants and San Diego scoreless, with San Diego batting in the last half of the second. That's Bryant against Corkin. The other games, the Mets down to St. Louis Cardinals 3-1. Tom Seaver with his 24th victory of the year. So the Mets now have reduced that magic number to 4. Brunette bats right-handed, and the pitch by Andy just missed the outside edge. The count is 1-2. So he came that close to striking out the side and wrapping up the third inning. George with his feet rather close together, slightly closed hands, midway there in the batter's box. The pitch right down the chute for strike 3 call. And he strikes out the side. He has 5 for the night. So they're out of there in order again, and the score at the end of the first half of the third, the Angels 1 and the Pilots 0.
All we know is wherever the good times are, millions of smokers are thinking time for a chance. What a good time for a chance.
We return to play. We've just received the official word that Bob Stewart, the plate umpire, did toss Kennedy out of the game. So Stanley will now take over at short. Harper, Stanley, Donaldson, and Mincher around the infield, with Walton, Hobley, and Whitaker in the outfield. Sandy Alomar, the leadoff man. Without the services of organist Jay Torn, a live basis tonight on the tape machine, they're playing back the best of Jay Torn. Bob Stewart is still engaged in conversation. Bob, whoops, some bats come out. Now a helmet comes out. As Bob had wagged it over toward he had at least gone down the first baseline over by the Seattle dugout.
And then as Bob turned his back and started to maneuver toward home plate again, a couple of bats flew through the air and a helmet came out. So John Kennedy has been chased. A rather late point of the year. Sandy Alomar, the batter, to pitch on the latest Sandy. A butt try, and he fouls it off behind the plate, strike one. In the American League, with Minnesota celebrating tonight. They're celebrating at Municipal Stadium in Kansas City. They knocked off the Royals 4-3. In addition, Harmon Killebrew hit his 47th home run of the year. And I would figure that if you were going to cap the climax to cinch the American League West, it would be the ideal thing to have Killebrew come through with another home run. He takes the leadership in home runs. And the pitch swung on, fly ball down the left field line. Gunning for it now, Danny Walton on the run across the line, backhands the ball. So Walton turns in another fine defensive play. He's handled Andy Messersmith with quite an effort in the second inning, and now gets Sandy Alomar here. In very tight circumstances down in that portion of the outfield, too, as you cross the line in that narrow triangular area. Not too much room in which to operate. But Walton, with a backhand stab of it, takes care of Sandy Alomar. Here's Jay Johnstone, Angel center fielder, attached to the mound, tapped to Brunette, his first time up. And Brew's first delivery, fastball outside, ball one. George did it a motion again, and the next pitch to him. Whips it outside, ball two, and it's 2-0. When you work from Seattle broadcast there, and you're just hanging out over home plate, it isn't the easiest thing in the world to figure out exactly how quick a pitcher is. Here's a 2-0 delivery. Brunette throws it high and inside, ball three. George appeared, from our vantage point at least, to be extremely quick when he worked against the Angels in our last road trip up there. And when he threw the complete game and threw the victory against the 3-0 delivery. Curveball here at 3-0, and he throws it for a strike, 3-1. He does not appear, and of course we're rather well removed from home plate here at the Big A. He does not appear to be that fast tonight. 3-1 delivery. And he sends one through for a strike to make it 3-2. And of course you have quite a substantial difference too in lighting plants in the two ballparks when you try to measure the swiftness of a pitcher on the mound. At Sick Stadium in contrast to Anaheim Stadium. The motion and the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, top high in the air. This good guy back on the screen. McCartney comes back and watches it disappear on the netting, and the count stays at ball three and strike two on Jay Johnstone. Tomorrow night, the series with the second game will find Jim McLaughlin on the mound. And Jim will oppose Miguel Fuentes. 3-2 pitch by Brunette. Swung on, wrapped foul behind the plate. The count stays at 3-2. And in that recent series, in our last road trip, we had a chance to see young Fuentes do the pitching for Seattle. Miguel not as effective in his outing against the Angels, certainly, as he was in his first Major League start against the White Sox when he racked up a win. 3-2 delivery inside with a fastball, ball four. Johnstone is on. Here's the home run man, Jim Ferguson. Brunette has walked his third man. Combined record for Brunette, both the Angels and Seattle. This is the 34th game in which he has worked, and his 27th start, 4 complete games, winning 8, losing 12, and in 152 innings, his earned run average 4.47. Through with 90 strikeouts to his credit. Ready here is deal 2 for Gussie and the pitch. Fastball a little bit high, ball 1. Brunette's record with the Seattle Ball Club, and not taking into consideration the Angels record, 11 game appearances, now 9 starts, 2 complete games, winning 2, losing 5, and an earned run figure for the Seattle team of 5.71. Left-handed with a 1-0 pitch to Ferguson. Turns it over to it high, ball 2, and it's 2-0. Johnstone, the runner at first base, 1 out. And the outfield pretty well spread out for Jim, though Whitaker is a few steps more off the line and off the straightaway mark in right field.
Dead center field, Steve Hobley. Brunette concentrating 2-0 on Ferguson. Here it comes. Jim takes it about the same spot, ball 3, 3-0. He's upstairs with 3 pitches here to the Angels shortstop. The teammate of Ferguson for the home run in the first inning was Belt High. Lead by Johnstone at first and the 3-0 offering. And he throws a breaking ball 3-0 as he did with Johnstone. And this one curls through for a strike, and it's 3-1. Any baseball man you talk with will tell you that probably the greatest arm ever seen in all the years that George has been in the minor leagues and the major leagues possessed by Brunette. Ferguson rams a line drive foul into the lower deck down the left field side, and the count is 3-2. And I've yet to hear a baseball man say otherwise in regard to Brunette. Mr. George, he's never had any arm trouble. As we've mentioned a number of times on the air and going through the complete list of cities, ball clubs that Brew has pitched for over the years. Sounds like the timetable for the Missouri Pacific. Or it reads like the timetable. Johnstone's lead. Diego. No, and now the throw to first to Mitchell. Now they got him in a rundown. Got him in the hot box. Throw to the second. Mitchell makes the tag going by as Donaldson returns the throw. So Mitchell to Donaldson and then back to Mitchell. And as Johnstone tried to streak by the big first baseman, Mitch, like a revolving door, just spun around and made the tag on his back. So Johnstone is a gunner, and a good move by Brunette. George realizing 3-2 for Gusty at bat that the J would be leaning, and he certainly was. In fact, not only leaning, but he started his acceleration, and Brunette then, without any indication of going to the plate and not set to go to the plate, with the toss to Mitchell in the easy rundown. So the Angels have 2 away. The Angels have run into a couple of base running pictures here that have not been too bright early. Next delivery in for strike 3 called to Ferguson. As again, Brunette threw a breaking ball. And now Brunette and Ferguson in conversation as George walks down off the mound. So you may have nailed me in the first inning, but I got you looking for something that you didn't expect you were going to see here. So the net result, the Angels send up Alomar, Johnstone, and Ferguson, and that's it. And the score at the end of 3, the Angels 1 and the Pilots nothing.
Say, fans, it's no secret that there are more signs of the Chevron on land than any other brand in the West. But did you know that there are a great many of them on water, too? Yes, sir. They're Chevron Marinas, offering the best Chevron marine products for your boat. And fast, friendly service, too. In fact, you'll find more Chevron Marinas available than any other kind in the West. But the most important thing to remember is Chevron Marinas are more than just a place to tie up your boat. You see, many of them are conveniently located near fine restaurants, dancing, picnicking, golf courses, hunting, and much, much more. So you can really do more by boat every time you take the family out for a weekend of fun on the water. And that's why we say that Chevron Marinas are more than a place to tie up your boat. They're practically a whole new way of finding family fun on the waterways of the West.
Checking over the American League schedule for tonight, and we just recalled that the White Sox were slated in Oakland at the Coliseum tonight. But that game was postponed because of football yesterday at the Oakland Coliseum, and in order to get the field back in shape for baseball, they had to wait an additional day, so they have a doubleheader coming up tomorrow. Tommy Harper leads off against Andy Messersmith, and the first delivery misses outside, ball 1. Tommy is fly to center field in the first inning. And the next delivery is the curve blowing away to make it ball 2, 2-0. Now the Angels on the homer by Jim Ferguson, hanging on to a 1-0 lead, and the pitch by Andy pumps it through quickly for a strike to make it 2-1. Tommy Harper with 73 stolen bases. He has been caught 15 times. In this ball club, the Pilots have swiped 160 for the year. Pitch is cut on a drive into right center field. That's out there for a base hit, possibly extra bases. Cut on quickly by Johnstone. Harper heading for 2. The throw, and they won't get it. It skids away from Ferguson, and it's backed up by Rodriguez. A double for Harper, the first hit off Andy Messersmith. So a line drive, extra base hit into right center field.
Tying run at that point with nobody out. Here's John Donaldson. John struck out in the first inning. A good job of hitting, young man, this year with a 245 average. One of those who's done about his business now, choking well up on the bat. And they pitch to him. And he throws it high, change of speed, and ball one. You know, Continental has the most nonstops from L.A. to Denver. You have a choice of 7 Golden Fan Jets to Denver every day. 1-0 pitch. Donaldson lobs it high in the air, and this will carry off and out of play. Back on the screen, the count is ball one and strike one. Tommy Harper, the runner at second base. Tommy now with 120 hits for the year. He has walked 92 times. To afford him quite a few opportunities for stolen bases. The next delivery thrown outside. The count is 2-1. So if Tommy, the next year, can start to move that batting average up, start to improve on that figure, going to find himself in a spot where he can steal a bundle of bases. Foul off the handle. This one works up off the facing of the effort here, and then back down to the screen and skids down toward home plate. Ball 2 and strike 2 on Donaldson. Danny Walton will be next. Donaldson with 7 doubles, 3 triples, 18 RBIs to his credit. 2-2 delivery now, and he went after the straight change and managed to get a piece of it, fouled it off, and the count stays at 2-2. The game at San Diego involving the Giants and the Padres, no score at the end of 2. Here the Angels lead Seattle 1-0, and we're in the top half of the 4th. And the 2-2 pitch. Cut on, about a half swing here. High pop up third base way. Rodriguez just across the line by a step and about 25 feet down the line. He makes the catch. So Donaldson fouls out to Aurelio, and here comes left fielder Danny Walton. Danny has been up 59 times, has 18 hits. In the first inning, he has tapped back to Andy. Left fielder Danny. So the Orioles and the Twins will get together in the championship series to determine the American League winner. The Mets trying to wrap up things in the National League East. Pitch to Walton. Checks up on a curve low and outside ball 1. And it may be a few more days before anyone will know what will ultimately happen in the National League West. 1-0 pitch. And throws a strike here to the outer edge to make it 1-1. And he checks out Harper with a look, and the next delivery is fouled back at our level, and then rebounding back on the screen. And it's 1-2. Let's see Harmon Killebrew with his 47th home run tonight. That would give Killebrew at least 137 RBIs for the year. We don't know what else Killebrew did during the course of the game in Kansas City, but at least 137 runs driven in. Change, hop high in the air. Shoots this one extremely high and back on the screen, and the count will stay. It's ball 1 and strike 2. So Killebrew moves ahead of Reggie Jackson and Frank Howard of the Senators with 47 home runs. In fact, the overall leadership in the Major League. And well out in front in RBIs, not only in the American League, but also in the Major League. There's a substantial lead over Boone Powell of Baltimore. Andy ready in the 1-2 pitch. Curve, hop high in the air. Left side of home plate. Coming back is Askew, and Joe will not have a play. About 4 rows deep, bouncing around. And that bounces up on the screen. Forget about it. So everyone getting set to see where this one would finally land after a couple of bounces in the lower deck. And a one quick rebound. It landed on the netting behind the plate and then rolls down to the ball boy. Got ball 1 and strike 2. Tying run, Tommy Harper at second, 1 out, and the 1-2 pitch. Low and away. And the count is 2-2. Dick Nelson indicates that's all Harmon managed in the ball game in Kansas City, the 1 RBI on his 47th home run. Luke Powell with 119 runs driven in to be second on the list. And as we get to this point of the year, too, now's the time to think in terms of the championship hitters, both the American and the National League. Swung on a deep drive, left field. This ball may go, and you can kiss it goodbye. Danny Walton is homered. And the Pilots move out to a 2-1 lead over the Angels. So Danny taking his time, moving around second base to third now, past the coach, Frankie Crosetti, down the line, and Danny with his third home run and his 6th and 7th RBI. So Andy with a little change to speed, a change on this delivery to Walton, and he got it inside to him. And at a good spot for pulling power, and Walton took care of it. So Danny with a 2-run homer, driving Harper across the plate. The batter, Hobley, in the first pitch in for a strike to make it 0-1. Hobley struck out when he let off the second inning. Andy into the motion and a one-strike pitch. And Hobley trying to bunt almost had this pitch bore right through him. As Hobley managing to, as he ran up in the batter's box, and the pitch ran right at him and just stayed with him. The more he moved, the more it traveled with him. And finally, it glanced off the bat handle and went foul to the left of the plate for strike 2. Left-hander, young man from Stanford, Steve Hobley. In a good year, 285 average. Look out, he almost got nailed with the pitch. Count 1-2. Look over the home run list. That is the 16th homer given up by Andy this year. The 117th homer Angel pitching has given up. And a curve here, waved out and missed by Hobley. Went after it one-handed for strike 3. There's 2 down as Hobley cut down on strikes for the second time, and that is the 6th to be recorded by Messersmith. The batter is first baseman Don Mincher. So that gives him 197 for the year. Pilots lead 2-1. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. Mincher waiting on the 1-0 delivery, and he throws this one between the waist and the letters for a strike, and it's 1-1. He works again, and Minch takes it low. Ball 2, 2-1. See what the Seattle Ball Club has been able to do at home and on the road. They are 30-44 at home. They've won 29, lost 49 on the road. Mincher hammers it foul into the booth by the Seattle broadcasters. The count is 1-2 up by Bill Schonley, and one of my favorite ball-headed friends over there, Jimmy Dudley. Down 1-2, the pitch. Good change for strike 3 call. Change curveball to get Don Mincher. Second strikeout of the inning, and the 7th tonight for Andy Metchison. The Pilots pick up 2 runs, 2 hits. There were no errors, none left. And the score at the end of the first half of the 4th, Seattle 2 and the Angels 1.
We're computerized, transistorized. Everything is synthesized. But Bush, that Bush, it does its own thing. You can substitute, reconstitute, or be a student, recompute. But Bush, yeah, Bush, it does its own thing. You can carbonate, aerate, agitate, or sit and wait like Bush. That Bush, it does its own thing. In this hurry-up world, most brewers pump carbonation into their beer. Now, Busch makes its own bubbles, does its own thing. Of all the popular-priced beers, only Busch has in-brewed carbonation. Busch, the best popular-priced beer in America. Busch's best outbrews the rest. Come on, put us to the test called Busch. That Busch, it does its own thing. And we can prove it.
First batter for the Angels as we start out the last of the 4th inning will be left fielder Rick Reichard. Rick had walked in the first inning. So the Pilots and the Angels exchanging home runs. Seattle leads 2-1. George Brunette on top again. He'll face Reichard, Billy Cowan, and Joe Askew. The line by the left-hander and his first pitch. Fastball inside, ball one. Line again by Brunette in the 1-0 delivery, and he threw this one a la screwball, changed to it, and the pitch was cut on a miss by Reichart to make it 1-1. Well, they have something up on the reader board. His White Sox game scheduled at Oakland tonight was postponed because of a football game played on Saturday night. Miami and the Raiders left too many cleat marks. But as we pointed out, that wasn't the case at all, as Charlie Finley had given in to the Oakland Raiders' request, because it takes so many hours for the conversion of the field from the baseball capabilities around to the football setup. The next pitch swung on a smash, backhanded by Harper at third. Goes to first and gets Reichart. Tommy Harper, some play. Don't think Tommy really realized that he had it. Not in the web of the glove, but a great backhand stab with a hot shot off the bat of Reichart, and with that fine defensive work, the Angels have one away. Here's right fielder Billy Cowan. So Brunette has the one down here in the last half of the fourth, and the pitch by Brew, the change, and he fouls it up on the stream for strike one. Billy, as a member of the Angels, the batting average of .333. It popped out to John Kennedy, the Seattle shortstop of the first inning. Then John was tossed out of the game with the plate umpire Bob Stewart, so Stanley is now at short. Fastball swung on, fly ball deep down the left field line near the pole, and this ball is going to catch. It is a fair ball. So it's a home run for Cowan, just inside the pole. Boy, that was close. So Billy Cowan has his fourth home run as a member of the Angels. 10 RBIs. And this one just inside the yellow foul pole down the left field line. So it is a home run evening. Game even up at 2-2. Bases empty homers by Ferguson and Cowan. The batter, Joe Askew. And the delivery by Brunette. Curve cut on foul tip for strike one. And the talking to George down at the batting cage before the game and watching various Seattle hitters in the cage and hammering around to different points of this ballpark, he said, well, looks like the ball isn't carrying very well tonight. And it's one of those foggy evenings along the coast. George has seen two fly out of here. Ferguson, his first inning homer that came with two away, and the homer by Cowan here with one down in the fourth. Askew walked to lead off the second, and the count is one strike on it. Motion by Brunette in the fifth. Askew with a line drive, base hit, left center field. Askew at first base and one down, and Jim Spencer coming up. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Angels Baseball Network.
Keith Jackson Sports can be heard daily at 5:20 p.m. on KBUZ and KBUZ-FM Mesa with Phoenix offices and studios in Thomas Mall.
Jim Spencer stepping in. Jim had singled in the second, but with his base hit with the same picture we have here. Joe Askew trying to work from first around to third and challenging Steve Whitaker's arm in right field, and Whitaker gunned him down at third base by a pretty good margin. Askew out to his lead, and the delivery on the way to Spencer is a curve low and outside for ball one. The Giants lead San Diego 2-0 at the end of 2.5. The Angels now have 4 hits. Brunette's next pitch. Swung on, lifted high in the air, and out of play on the first base side. You know, in one of the recent issues of the Sporting News, they had a note about Marvin Milks, who is the general manager of the Seattle Ball Club, who on occasion has traveled with the Seattle Pilots on the road. Marvin did not make this trip, I understand, down to Anaheim for this final series. But Marvin takes a stern position on curfew violations, and as a result, stations himself in the hotel lobby to check the troops in personally whenever he travels with a Seattle team.
And Marvin was in fact, one of the members of the pilots said that Marvin was in the lobby more than the bell captain. Here's the 1-1 delivery now. Swung on, line drive out of the right center field, cutting over for it. Steve Hobley puts it away. Back to first base goes Joe Askew, and the Angels now have 2 away. So what the pilots did, the players took up a collection, and they sent it Taylor to Marvin Milk's hotel room to measure him for a new suit. And Marvin was delighted. He thought that was a great idea. 2 days later, the suit was delivered, and the ensemble was the latest in bellhop fashion. The jacket had 30 brass buttons, and it bore the monogram Bell Captain. Oh, lobby sitters, we have known. Pitch to Aurelio Rodriguez, and it's the high one for a strike, and it's 0-1. Billy Womack is throwing in the Seattle bullpen. So the Angels and Andy Messersmith, thanks to the home run by Billy Cowan, jump right back in. A 2-2 game, last half of the fourth. And it's still rolling here with Joe Askew at first base and 2 away. Rodriguez had popped out to Donaldson, his first trip. Next pitch cut on, fly ball, foul out of play down the left field line. High throwing foul. Askew back to first base, 2 outs, 2 strikes on Rodriguez. Harry Halo is a tireless worker tonight. Here's the 2-strike pitch, and Aurelio stays away from the pitch low and away. Count is 1-2. You wear yourself out, Harry. Now remember, you're going to be my guest on the pregame show tomorrow night. I don't. 1-2 delivery by Brunette. And Aurelio, into the fist by a curve, shoves it high and fouled and out of play. Into the pitch along the third base side. So the count is ball 1 and strike 2. Both Stanley and Harper starting over to see if the ball might be playable. Now going back to their position. Stanley at short, Harper at third. But where Harper made a fine play on Reichart to start off the inning. Otherwise, not been for that defensive play, the Angels would have something big going here. They 1-2 pitch. And change curve, cut out, missed by Aurelio for strike 3. The second strikeout for Brunette, and the Angels pick up 1 run, and the home run by Billy Cowan, 2 hits. It's also the single by Askew, no errors, 1 left. They've stranded 3 of the score. At the end of 4, the Angels 2 and the Pilots 2. Well, we all know how a sacrifice fly can be every bit as good as a base hit. It can win a ball game just as well as a home run. But in air travel, of course, the sacrifice fly isn't necessary, and Continental Airlines have certainly seen to that. Coach and economy passengers don't have to sacrifice comfort for safety. On all Continental Boeing fan jets, coach and economy seats are just as wide as first class. Now, Continental uses just 5 big seats to a row, rather than the 6 small seats most other airlines use. So there's no need to sacrifice fly in small seats when Continental's big seating is always a hit. To Chicago, Kansas City, to Denver, and other cities served by Continental's Boeing fan jets, you can always enjoy extra room and extra comfort. The airline that's better because it wants to be. That's the difference pride makes. Continental Airlines, proud bird with the golden tail. Don Wells with Dick Enberg, Dick Nelson from Anaheim Stadium. Nice to have you with us in our listening audience tonight with the Angels 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and Seattle 2 runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Second game of the series tomorrow night. Game time will be at 8 p.m. Jim McLaughlin will go against Miguel Fuentes. And the final game of the series and the final game of the season here at the Big A then on Wednesday night before the Angels travel up for a Thursday night activity with the Oakland A's at the Coliseum in the East Bay. So we move to the 5th inning of play with it all even up at 2-2, and once again, here's Dick.
Right, Don. Messersmith, looking for his 17th win, sends a curve up to McCartney. It misses ball 1. McCartney bounced back to the mound his first time up, and he has struck out 7 men through the first 4 innings to raise his season's total to 198, third best in the American League. He winds, kicks, and delivers. Fastball high, 2-0. The Catchers Askew, Rodriguez, Ferguson, Alomar and Spencer on the infield, Reichart, Johnstone, and the home run man, Cowan, in right field. Ferguson with the other Angel home run. 2-0 pitch. McCartney takes it outside, 3-0. A 2-run home run by Danny Walton in the top of the fourth inning, accounting for the Seattle scoring a 2-2 tie. The line, the 3-ball pitch, right down the middle, 3-1. McCartney steps out to check with his third base coach, Frank Crissetti. Hit or take. Steve Whitaker on deck. And then Fred Stanley here in the top of the fifth. The pitch, curve high, and leadoff walk goes to Jerry McCartney, the first base on balls from Andy Messersmith. Here's Steve Whitaker, left-handed hitting right fielder, struck out swinging in the third inning.
Right fielder, Steve Whitaker.
Whitaker, former Yankee property. He came to the Pilots in a trade with Kansas City just before the start of the year. He takes the change low, ball one. That was the deal that brought Lou Piniella to the Royals. And of course, Piniella has been their perhaps top player. 1-ball pitch. Swung on line, drive center field, base hit. Johnstone charges, holding at second is McCartney. The Pilots have runners at second and first with no one out here in the fifth inning. That's the third hit off Messersmith, and brings to the plate Fred Stanley for the first time. Stanley replacing John Kennedy, who's back in the Pilot clubhouse after being tossed out of the ball game by plate umpire Bob Stewart. Kennedy objecting to the called third strike judgment of Stewart back in the third inning. And before departing, threw a couple of bats and a helmet out onto the warning track in front of the Seattle dugout as a parting volley for the plate umpire Stewart. Angels looking for the sacrifice. McCartney and Whitaker lead away. Scoring around is Stanley. A good bunt. Messersmith up with a juggle. Throws just in time. Messersmith hustling off the mound, but the ball was bunted hard enough that Rodriguez also came in for the play. That left the sacrifice perfect. McCartney able to move over. Then Messersmith, running at full speed, juggled the ball, but was able to control it, brace himself, and throw out Stanley by a step. Sacrifice good. Play goes 1-4. And moving to third, McCartney. And at second base, Whitaker. George Brunette, the scheduled hitter, but we'll have a pinch hitter for Brunette, and that won't please George too much. It'll be Wayne Comer. Rams head coach George Allen's favorite player, Wayne Comer, with the Detroit Tigers last year. And with the Pilots this season, Comer hitting .245, has 14 home runs and 50 runs batted in. And a chance here to add to that total with 2 men in scoring position, a 2-2 tie, 1 out, top of the fifth. Comer has not played the last 7-8 days. He has a very bad left knee. The pitch by Messersmith ripped off the glove of Messersmith. He picks it up. Throws to first. Wild. It goes by Spencer. The run scores, and here comes another one. Back to back. McCartney and Whitaker score into second base. Comer is 4-2. Messersmith making a great play to knock down the line drive back to the box. It rolled towards second base. He picked it up quickly. He had 2 men at third base as Whitaker had raced over to third. McCartney had held up, so both Pilots were at third. But Messersmith, making the quick judgment, did not make a play at third. He threw to first base and threw wild to the home plate side of first and away from the diving try of Spencer. And 2-run score on the air by Messersmith. Comer is replaced with a pinch runner.
For the Pilots, running for Comer, number 33,
Marty Patton, the former Angel pitcher, is the pinch runner for Wayne Comer. Still only 1 out. Patton at second base, 4-2. The score, Seattle leads.
as Messerschmitt, throwing error, chases home a pair of Seattle runners. And here's Tommy Harper. He has a double and a fly ball to center, 1 for 2. Patton leads away. The pitch by Messerschmitt. Swung on and missed. A good curveball. So the great play by Messerschmitt had forced the pilots into a situation where it appeared that they could not come out without maybe a double play. Ripped on the ground to the left of Ferguson by him into center field. Patton around third. Johnstone up for the ball. His throw is cut off by Spencer. The throw to second, not in time. Harper's in. And it's 5-2 Seattle. An RBI for Harper. And Spencer, as he made the cutoff, juggled the ball, and then by the time he threw on to Ferguson, Harper had made his slide safely into second. And here comes Lefty Phillips out of the Angel dugout. So the big play of the air, and as so often happens, the defensive player, in this case Messerschmitt, making the great play to knock down the ball, and then off balance and hurried, he forced the throw wild that scored 2 runs, put another runner in scoring position, and Harper has singled him home. It's 5-2 Seattle, still only 1 out. And on the single and the throw to the plate, Harper's at second base. And John Donaldson, the second baseman, is the hitter. Messerschmitt will stay. Vern Geishert, who saved the 16th win of the Barons in his last outing in Minnesota, is warming up in the Angel bullpen. Off move, but back east is Harper, second base Ferguson cutting behind the runner. With 1 out, the Angels certainly alert to the possibility that Harper, the leading base stealer in the major leagues, might try for third. Although with a left-handed hitter Donaldson up, it is not quite as likely. He has a big league. Again, the pickoff move, and he's back with a dive. Ferguson taking a couple of swipes at Harper, hoping that Tommy might drag a hand off the bag as he moved back into an upright position. Harper taking a very large lead. Messerschmitt at the belt. Looks back at second. Again the pickoff move, and Harper dives back safely. The throws have been about belt high to Ferguson. If Messerschmitt could have gotten either of the last 2 throws down at the bag, then Harper might have been a gunner. Now after 3 in San Diego, the Giants lead the Padres 2-1. The Giants need a win to stay in first place. Atlanta already victorious tonight. Messerschmitt at the belt. It's 5-2 Pilots, 1 out in the 5th. The pitch, fastball high. And Harper, if nothing else, has certainly offered a distraction for the Angel pitcher. As after 3 pickoff tries, unsuccessful, his first fastball is up around the bill of the cap of the left-handed hitting Donaldson. Messerschmitt kicking away at the rubber with the heel of his left shoe, trying to free some of that red clay from the shoe. The pitch by Andy. Check swing roller to the right side. Alomar charges the ball. His sidearm flip in time. Harper goes to third. There are 2 outs. The Pilots in the 5th. A leadoff walk to McCartney. A single to center by Whitaker. Sacrificed by Stanley. Then Wayne Comer, pinch hitting, lines one back to the box. Messerschmitt knocks it down but throws it away. A 2-base error and a 2-run error. And then Harper immediately chases home the 3rd run with a line single to center field. With 2 outs, here's Danny Walton, who stroked a 2-run home run his last time up. He swings and misses at a fastball inside. Might have foul tipped that one and took a bite out of Joe Askew, who stumbles backwards. Walton with an excellent swing. Good, compact swing, and he hit one of the longest home runs of the year to left field. Was way back in the box seats, right near the bullpen fence. Lower deck and left, almost back to the aisle. The 1-strike pitch. Curve, bunted up the third base line, foul. So Walton, with the element of surprise, trying to score Harper with a bunt up the third base line. Instead, it's foul, and 0-2 the count. Angels took the lead in the 1st off George Brunette with Jim Ferguson's home run. Danny Walton's 2-run homer in the 4th inning after Harper's double made it 2-1 Seattle. Billy Cowan tied it with his 4th home run of the year. in the bottom of the fourth, but the Pilots had chalked up 3 in the top of the fifth to lead 5-2. And a chance to score the sixth with Harper a third. 2 outs and 2 strikes to count to Walton. The wind, the pitch by Messersmith. Curve misses low. Andy with that hard overhand curveball. He jumped in front of Walton the last time up. Was ahead on the count, and then Walton hit a 1-2 pitch into the seat. Here's the 1-2 delivery. High with a fastball, 2-2. Giants fail to score top of the fourth at San Diego. It remains 2-1. Giants over the Padres. Walton not that tall, about 6 feet, but broad-shouldered and strong. 2-2 pitch. Curve, strike 3 called. It caught the outside edge. Messersmith has struck out his 8th man. The Pilots, however, score 3 runs, 2 of them earned, on 2 hits. 1 critical error by Messersmith, and 1 man left on base. And at the halfway mark, 4.5 innings, Seattle 5, the Angels 2. It's not too early to think about Christmas shopping, and here's an ideal gift suggestion for the sports fan in the group for year-long enjoyment. Angel tickets, gift certificates for Christmas or for other occasions are available by mail. Simply write to Angel Tickets, Anaheim Stadium, Anaheim, California, and ask for gift certificate information, or stop at Anaheim Stadium in person. The convenient one-stop shopping center for the baseball fan on your Christmas list. Well, our friends out there in the upper deck in left field, all by themselves, a hearty group of about 50. Is there someone out there that has a transistor radio? If there is someone out there that might be listening right now, maybe you could stand up and wave, and we could communicate from long distance. Would you invite that usher in the aisle over? Invite the usher down to you. You could ask the usher to come over. We would like to invite you in to sit in here with the rest of us just for tonight. This is just the usher listening now. We've just chatted with General Manager Dick Walsh, and he said it's all right if we invite those fine fans out there to come in here behind us, up above the press box, and enjoy the game from a little closer range. So why don't we invite them in as guests of the Angels tonight? This is just a one-time only situation. If not, charge it to my bill. It's the usher there. You can charge it to my bill, whoever you are out there. The usher and the Messersmith. I don't think he believes me. Andy Messersmith leads off in the bottom of the 5th inning.
He's seen your bill. That's what.
And this is home run inning. Willie Womack is the new Seattle pitcher replacing George Brunette. Messersmith, who lined out to Danny Walton, who made a great catch on the warning track in left field, takes a strike. He's batting for Henry Maynor of South Menlo Avenue in Los Angeles, California. Now let's say E.C. Moy of 7th Street. He grounds to third. Harper up with it, straightens. He lobs his throw to Mincher in time by a step, 1 away. Messersmith batting for E.C. Moy of 7th Street and Riverside. That brings up Sandy Alomar. He'll hit for Chuck Price of Ingraham Street, Los Angeles, California. Our jackpot worth $1,300. Here come our fans. Good. Welcome aboard. This is late in the season. No reason why we can't have them come on in and root for the Angels from closer range. I've often thought it'd be fun to go out and do a broadcast from the general admission section and just chat with the fans out there. Harry Carey, I heard Harry Carey in St. Louis do that once out in the league.
Harry sounded a lot more accurate than he did from out the bleachers section in St. Louis.
Sandy Alomar is 0 for 2. He fouled out twice, once to the first baseman Mincher and once to the left fielder Danny Walton. The wind by Willie Womack. The pitch is a fastball outside. Harper playing way in on the grass at third. He's only about 70 feet away from Alomar. Mincher a step behind the bag at first. Infield drawing up a step, and the outfield playing Alomar hitting left-handed toward left. Fastball is inside. 2-0. Womack working on Sandy Alomar. The Pilots lead at 5-2 at Anaheim Stadium. Womack is 1-1 with the Pilots. He delivers a strike at the knees, 2-1. His ERA 2.25. He's pitched in only 8 in the third inning, 6 games. Womack was always very effective against the Angels when in a Yankee uniform. 2-1. Womack winds, kicks, and delivers. Low, 3-1. Womack staring down, gets the sign. The 3-1 pitch to Alomar is a high strike right across the letters on the outside edge, 3-2. Jay Johnstone on deck. Jay with the last home run payoff, $7,200 on Friday night. It's $1,300 this evening. Kent, Newport, and Cruz game that puts the Angels at bat for you. Womack brushes off a couple of signs. 3-2 delivery, grounded to the right side. Charged by Donaldson. He has it and throws out Alomar by a step. 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. And Jay Johnstone, who is 0 for 1, he bounced back to the mound and walked against Brunette, is hitting for Mrs. Mildred Steiner of Terrace Way in Bakersfield, California. We have 3 home runs already in the books tonight. 2-run home run by Walton and solos by Ferguson and Billy Cowan. The Pilots lead at 5-2. The pitch to Johnstone is a high curve, ball 1. Both teams with 4 hits, 1 error. Charged to Messersmith set up a 3-run 5th inning for the Pilots. Fastball in for a strike, 1-1. Outfield and infield very deep for Johnstone, with one exception. Harper. His toes near the infield grass at third. 1-1 pitch. Curve, strike 2 call. Tantalizing slow curve right around the hands of Johnstone. Into the windup Womack. 1-2 pitch. Curve grounded toward Rocky Bridges. One big hop and Rocky one-handed. And throws on to Womack. A ball and 2 strikes. Into the windup Womack. The pitch. Curve grounded again foul. This one a little farther away from Rocky's range. There were the players from the Seattle dugout handling Rocky. Perhaps asking if he only goes after the sophomore. It's pretty high. Count remains 1-2. 2 outs, no one on. 5-2 Seattle. The pitch low. And the Pilots, all 9 men, had started toward the dugout thinking that was strike 3. 2-2 with 2 outs. Johnstone trying to reach his personal goal of 270, hitting 266 at the start tonight. Womack set, winds, and the pitch. Grounded on a big 2-hopper to Donaldson, edge to the outfield grass. He has it and throws out Jay for the final out. Angels gone in order against Womack, who inherits this game. At the moment, he now becomes the pitcher of record. 1-2-3 for the Angels in the 5th, and we're sorry we had no home run for the money winner. However, as a consolation prize, the Lorillard Corporation is sending all of tonight's participants a gift of their cigarettes along with a cigarette lighter. And tomorrow night, Angels in Seattle, our jackpot will be worth $1,400. And after 5 at the Big A, it's Seattle 5, the Angels 2.
What a good time. What a good time for a cat. What a good time. Good things for kids. What's good for a day like today?
Anytime, anywhere the fun is a good time for a kid. You light up and the good taste happens.
What a good time for a cat.
Vivian Daniels won $1,500. Paul Brierly won $3,000. And Don Du Bois won $25,000 in Kent, Newport, and Cruz home run for the money. And there's still plenty of chances left to win big money. The last entry date for the final week's game is passed, but the last game is yet to be played, so there's still thousands of dollars ready and waiting. Since the game began, over $14,000 has been given away. And the makers of Kent, Newport, and Cruz cigarettes want to thank the fans who participated. And they hope that Home Run for the Money has made listening to Angel games even more exciting than ever before. Top of the sixth inning, Andy Messersmith, trailing 5-2, works to Hobley, who takes a curve inside. Messersmith, trailing by 3 runs, but has now struck out 8 pilots in the first 5 innings to run his season's total to 199, so the next strikeout will be number 200. Fastball inside, 2-0. He has allowed just 4 hits, but the pilots have taken full advantage of all their hits. The Angels have run themselves out of a couple of innings. 2-0 delivery. Hobley takes the high strike, across the letters on the inside corner. The Angels in the second inning got a leadoff walk from Askew and a single to right field by Spencer, but Askew was thrown out trying to go from first to third on the hit. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Hobley has struck out both times against the Barons. In that second inning, after Askew thrown out, then Messersmith lined to deep left field in the corner, and Walton made a leaping one-handed catch to end the inning. 2-2 pitch. Change. Strike 3 call. And Messersmith has struck out his 200th man. 9 tonight. The leader in the American League, McDowell, with 269. Lolich has 248. Messersmith leads all right-handed pitchers now with 200. Here's Don Mincher. He flied to center, shallow center, and struck out. The pitch. Inside at the knees. Laser in pitching position, winds, kicks, and delivers. Foul back to the screen on the ground. 1-1. Jerry McCartney on deck. The Angels had another chance in the third inning with 1 out. Johnstone walked, but was picked off by Brunette. 1-1 pitch. Curve for a strike. And Mincher, unhappy with himself, fooled with that slow curveball. Mincher, the last time when he was called out on strikes, threw his bat high in the air, then took his helmet off and lofted it in the air, but the umpires all turned their backs collectively and did not see. 1-2 the count, and the pitch by the Laser. Long drive foul down the right field line and hooking back into the seats about 7 rows. 2-1, San Francisco leads San Diego now in the 5th inning. The last entry date has passed in the Camp True and Newport home run for the money game, but not before lots of money was given away this year, over $21,000. 1-2 pitch, high. Fastball. And we hope to give away some more before the year is gone. We'd like to thank all of you for participating and making home runs for the money such a success. $21,000 given away. 2-2 pitch. Low with a change. 3-2 to Mincher. 1 out, no one on. The Pilots lead 5-2. The wind by the Bear on the pitch. Popped up. First baseman Jim Spencer drifting out on the outfield grass. He's under it now. And about 10 feet on the grass makes the catch. And we're happy that our friends from the general admission section, most of them are now located right above our heads in the third deck behind home plate. We have a few diehards that stayed out deep down the left field line, and that's where they want to enjoy the game. We're happy that that's where you are, some of the romantics. Here's McCartney with 2 outs. Jerry is 0 for 1. Takes a curve outside. He bounced back to the mound, walked, and scored as he led off in the 5th inning. The Pilots scoring with 3 runs on 2 singles and an error by Messersmith. 1-0 pitch. Curve for a strike. 1-1. Tomorrow night it'll be Jim McLaughlin, 8-15 for the Angels, against the young Seattle pitcher Miguel Fuentes, who is 1-1. The pitch by the Laser. Curve, strike two call. One and two to McCartney. Steve Whitaker on deck. Smith, both feet on the rubber, getting the sign from Askew. Now it's okay. Winds, kicks, and here it comes. Fouled at the plate. So the Mets have drawn another step closer to clinching the National League East title. The Twins did just that tonight. They're sampling the effervescence at Municipal Stadium in Kansas City. After beating the Royals, Harmon Killebrew took the Major League lead in home runs with his 47th. He leads in RBIs. 1-2 pitch. Curve. Fly ball to center. Johnstone back a couple of steps and now back in a couple and makes the catch. So Messerschmitt, settling down in the sixth inning, retires the Pilots in order. And after 5.5, it's Seattle 5, the Angels 2.
The secret of Chevron Island's extra service is hands. More hands to serve you. Because Chevron Island has more men on hand than any of the others. At Chevron Island, you'll find more hands to greet you. More hands to care for your car. More hands to get you in and out quickly. More hands to make your travel bright. Come to Chevron Island, near to where you are. A friendly kind of island with fresh spirit for your car. Chevron Island has more hands to serve you, more men than any of the others. So come to Chevron Island under the standard sun.
Last half of the sixth inning at Anaheim Stadium. Jim Ferguson leads off for the Angels to need some runs. They trail 5-2. Ferguson homered over the left field wall in the first, struck out in the third against Brunette. Womack, the pitcher now, delivers a fastball low. Womack with a very hurried motion and throws right over the top. Very quick delivery. And Harry Halo as the fans down below behind the Seattle dugout with a rhythmic applause trying to get the Angels started. This one is in for a strike, a fastball, 1-1. Ferguson has hit his 12th home run of the year. Cowan his 4th. Curve rolled foul between the bag and Mike Rourke, backhanded in foul territory by Tommy Harper. 1-2 to Jim. Danny Walton has hit his 3rd home run for the Pilots with a man on. Now we've got a bugler with us as well, a young man in a green jacket. 1-2 the count to Ferguson. Womack into the windup, and here's the pitch. Low with a fastball. So Harry Halo has accompaniment tonight. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Fastball across the letters, and Ferguson spins out of the batter's box and trots toward the Angel dugout. First strikeout for Womack. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Angels Baseball Network.
The highest power the government will license, 100,000 watts of stereo on KBUZ FM Mesa and KBUZ Mesa, Phoenix Studios, Thomas Mall.
Rick Reichard has walked and was robbed of a base hit, backed away from a curveball inside. Rick walked in the first and sent a hard one-hopper down the third baseline. His last time up, that was backhanded by Harper. Brilliant defensive play, and Harper threw him out. The 1-0 pitch, grounded foul outside Mike Rourke and down the left field line. Billy Cowan on deck. Seattle with a right-hander starting to loosen up. It looks like Diego Segui. 1-1. mild shift on for Reichard. Curve almost hit him inside 2-1. Second baseman John Donaldson playing almost behind second base. He's only about 10 feet on the first base side of the bag and on the outfield grass. Way into the hole is the shortstop Fred Stanley. The left fielder Walton deep in the corner. And way into left center is Steve Hoadley. Right center field is Steve Whitaker. A big hole down the right field line. Reichard could hit it the opposite way. He'd run all day. 2-1 pitch. Line drive into right field. Charging is Whitaker, and he makes the catch on the run. Ball held up for Whitaker, who charged in playing perfectly for Reichard. 2 away, and Dooley Womack is retired 5 straight Angels.
Right field in.
Here's Billy Cowan, who popped it short, and homered just inside the foul pole. Had plenty of distance, but a question as to whether or not it would stay there. It did by just a few feet to tie the game back in the 4th. He swings and misses at a curveball. It is DeGee throwing in the Seattle bullpen. He has been the ace for Joe Schultz in the relief department. 1 strike pitch. Curve misses low, 1-1. DeGee, in fact, is second only to starter Gene Brabender in most wins. He has 11, Brabender 13. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. A good fastball on the hands of Cowan. It's still 2-1. San Francisco leading San Diego now in the bottom of the 5th inning. Down south. 1-2 pitch to Cowan. A curve swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Womack breezes through the 6th inning. He's retired 6 straight Angels, striking out 2 in the 6th. And after 6 innings of play, it's the Pilots 5, the Angels 2.
When you get home from work at night, you know, it's great to sit back and relax with a cold bottle of, well, the best beer that man has ever made.
Don Wells, Dick Nelson at Anaheim Stadium on a cool, misty night. The Angels trail 5-2 the totals after 6. Seattle 5-4-0. The Angels 2-4-1. Top of the 7th, Steve Whitaker leads off for Seattle against Danny Messersmith, and here again is Don.
Well, thank you, Dick. Steve Whitaker with a strikeout in the 3rd, a base hit in the 5th inning, and a run scored as the Pilots lead at 5-2. Andy's first delivery is the curve, but it's low and close for ball 1. 1-0 count racked up on the left-hander Whitaker. And the next pitch by Andy. This one over the plate, but downstairs, ball 2, and it's 2-0. Well over into the corner in right field is Billy Cowan, and off into right center field, Jay Johnstone. Some echo distance around the left field line is Rick Reichard. Andy's 2-0 pitch, swung on, lifted foul. Going to be out in the screen, out in front of it, right under the front porch. The count is 2-1. So as we wend our way through what is left of this 1969 season, the Angels and the Pilots, 2 more games remaining here. Another high one lifted up around the mound, and Aurelio Rodriguez moving in front of the pitching circle, and Aurelio makes the catch. So Whitaker is gone. The batter will be the shortstop Stanley. And that looks as though swings a pretty good bat. And after Whitaker, Monte Vista High in Whitaker, where he graduated in 1966. Even though some of the minor league figures may not indicate it, so to say, it's another
Young man likes to choke up on the bat, and they pitch to him, cut on a miss, and it's strike one. Frederick B. Stanley. And the one strike offers popped high in the air, right side of the infield. Going for it, Sandy Alomar. Sandy drifting back about 15 feet in the outfield grass. Same distance off the line. He makes the catch. And the Pilots have two away.
The pitcher, Julie Womack.
Here comes Julie. Julie Womack. Seventh inning, 2 down, nobody on, and the Angels trail it by 3. The game at San Diego involving the Giants and the Padres. Now at the end of 5, San Francisco 2 and San Diego 1. Womack took a good lusty swing on this and charges it foul up on the stream for strike one. And from the wigwam down below, George Goodale reports the paid attendance figure. Good curve thrown here to Womack for strike two. 5,158, the paid count. The outfield with the pitcher up opens up a good gap in right center. They play Cowan very close to the line again, and Jay Johnstone in left center field. Womack with a wave on a changeup here for strike three. That is the 10th strikeout for Andy. Last time out against his club, he recorded E11, and the Pilots go 1-2-3. So the score at the end of the first half of the 7th, unchanged, Seattle 5 and the Angels 2. You know, anyone who's been around a ballpark knows that 3 and 2 is the full count on a batter, and it's that way at Continental Airlines, too. You find that Continental follows the rule of 3 and 2 in the coach and economy sections on all their Boeing fan jets. And they use 3 big seats on one side of the aisle and 2 big seats on the other side. Not 3 and 3 like most other airlines use. So naturally, Continental seats are wider and far more comfortable. The fact is, Continental's coach and economy seats are just as wide as first class, and you'll appreciate the difference. Enjoy this extra comfort on your next trip, whether it be to Chicago, Denver, Kansas City, Houston, or other cities served by Continental's Boeing fan jets. The airline that's better because it wants to be. That's the difference pride makes. Continental Airlines, the proud bird with the golden tail. Well, we're going to have to put a few more wires on the old turntable there to get Jay Torrance in absentia. Production will take me after the ball game, pepped up somewhat, but move now to the last half of the 7th inning. Joe Askew does leadoff duty for the Angels. Joe had walked in the 2nd and came back with the base hit in the 4th. First delivery is a curve low outside, ball 1. On the mound, Julie Womack. Julie ready and his pitch, fastball low outside. Ball 2, 2-0. You know, Harry Halo has his young bugler busy. 2-0 pitch. In for a strike. That is 2-1. Young man with a Kiwanis insignia on the back of his jacket. And a Clifford horn. Young man with a horn here. Helping out Harry the Hat Halo. And the next delivery. Looking to make the count 3-1. Ball 3 and strike 1, and Joe Askew, and Joe takes another look up to third base coach Mike Rourke. The line by the right-hander, and the 3-1 pitch, and a swing foul tip, 3-2. Ball thrown on a play by the plate umpire Bob Stewart. Tomorrow night, we'll have a chance to see Miguel Fuentes. Young man on the mound for the Seattle Pilots. 3-2 delivery. Swung out, bounced foul. Off to the left side of the plate. For the San Francisco Giants, despite the fact that the Giants are up on top in the National League West, and for Bobby Bonds, who certainly has made a great hitting contribution for the Giants, Bobby has achieved a Major League record tonight of swinging a tap foul behind the plate. As Bonds, at the game at San Diego, has struck out for the 176th time this year. So that is the new Major League mark set by Dave Nicholson. In 1963, when Dave was a member of the White Sox, he struck out 175 times. Pitch cut on, foul back again, and the count stays at 3-2. So Bobby has a chance. He has enough games left. He can kind of put that record short out of sight. 3-2 delivery. Joe with a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Dooley has his third strikeout. Here comes first baseman Jim Spencer. First baseman Jim Spencer. One for two tonight. Jim with a base hit in the second. Line to center field in the fourth inning. Angels trail it by 3. Curve low and close. Ball 1. Nothing on Spence. The pitch. Fastball sails away. Ball 2, 2-0. Count of the Angel first baseman. And the ghost chant going here at the Big A. The pitch is in there just above the knees for a strike to make it 2-1. See, Dick, when I was off the air there for a while and came back, I thought you'd have the broadcast booth filled by now. You can fucking come in and join us. That's not a bad idea, either. 2-1 delivery. And Spence checks up, takes it low. Ball 3, 3-1. Womack checks out to try and work 3-1. Spence with the ground ball up the first base side. Minter gives a lot of ground, picks it off and fires to Womack and right on target. Good strong throw to the pitcher covering for the out. So the Angels have 2 away. And Aurelio Rodriguez has been called back now. He started out. It looks like it's going to be Randy Brown to come up and bat for him. In these circumstances, with 2 away, and the left-hander Randy Brown will be batting for Aurelio. Randy making this will be his 9th at bat since joining the Angels. Randy is 1 for 8. His base hit came at Sick Stadium in Seattle. It was a line drive to right field. So he's up here with 2 away, had nobody on in the last half of the 7th inning. Then a lean hitting night, but the Pilots have managed 5 runs. They lead at 5-2. The outfield adjusted to up around to the right with Brown up, and the first pitch curve low for ball 1. The next pitch, cut on wrap foul to the right of the plate, 1-1. So the party is over in the American League. Baltimore, the winner in the East. And tonight the Twins, no back-end job on the part of Minnesota. As with Oakland idle tonight, Minnesota beat the Kansas City Royals and clinched the American League West. 1-1 delivery, high fly ball, skied extremely high into dead center field, about medium depth. Steve Hobley there, and Hobley makes the catch, and the Angels are gone in quick order. So the score at the end of 7 innings, Seattle 5, the Angels 2.
What a good time. What a good time. What a good time for a cat. Catching something because I've been looking for rainbows high on a hilltop, and suddenly the splendid place, the
of a better time than right now for the good time taste of a Ken cigarette? Millions of Ken smokers will tell you they just don't make it any better tasting. So how about it?
Moving on now to the eighth inning of play from Anaheim Stadium with the Pilots leading the Angels 5-2, and the Californians have made a change at third. Marty Perez. Now third base, so it's Perez, Ferguson, Alomar, and Spencer, the infield combination. Here's Tommy Harper coming up. Tommy with a single and a double, an RBI, a run scored. He is 2 for 3. Eighth inning of play, and once again, here's Dick.
All right, Don. Andy Messersmith winds. His first pitch is outside. He threw the hook first to Spencer, but missed, to Harper, but missed. Spencer at first base, Alomar at second, Ferguson at short, and now Perez at third. Fastball outside, 2-0. Whitaker, Johnstone, and Billy Cowan playing Harper almost straight away. Messersmith has allowed only 4 hits, but 5 runs. Misses again, low and away, 3-0. Andy has struck out 10. He has walked only 1 man, but that was the leadoff man, Mccartney, in the 5th. Strike at the knees, 3-1. And the Pilots in that 5th inning went on to score the 3 runs to break a 2-2 tie. Working quickly, the Baron right back, 3-1. Swung on, a drive to right. Cowan over to his right is there now, makes the catch. 1 out on the top of the 8th inning, and here's second baseman John Donaldson. He's 0 for 3. They're now in the bottom of the 6th inning at San Diego. The Giants 2, the Padres 1. When the occasion calls for good beer, get the best. Busch, best popular priced beer in America. The pitch, foul back. Angels took the lead in the first inning off starter George Brunette when Ferguson hit a 2-run home run, or 2-out home run over the left field fence, 1-0. The Pilots got 2 in the 4th on Danny Walton's 2-run home run after a Harper double. Swung on and missed. Straight change, and Donaldson weakly way out in front. 0-2 to John. The Angels tied it in the bottom of the 4th on Billy Cowan's solo home run down the left field line. The Pilots got 5 runs, 3 of them in the 5th inning. Fastball inside. When McCartney led off with a walk, Whitaker singled to center. Stanley sacrificed them along, and then pinch hitter Wayne Comer line one back to the box. Curve grounded up the first base line. It is foul. Fielded by Spencer. It throws out of Messersmith, but play called foul by first base umpire Marty Springstead. So with a score 2-2 in that 5th inning, runners at second and third. Comer lined one back to the box. Messersmith knocked it down. Hurried his throw to first base and threw it away. 2 runners scored. Comer moved to second, and Harper then singled in the 3rd run in the inning. Pitch is fouled back to the screen. And since then, Dooley Womack, relieving George Brunette, has retired 9 straight Angels, striking out 3. Messersmith has not pitched that poorly by any means. His own worst enemy, making 2 mistakes, the 2-run home run and the wild throw. 1-2 pitch. Curve in the dirt. So we have 1 out, top of the 8th inning. And the Pilots with a 5-2 lead. And Messersmith hoping that he can get some hitting support in the final 2 innings and pull out his 17th win of the year. Set into the windup, 2-2 pitch. Grounded toward Alomar. To his left, Sandy has it and throws on to Spencer for the out. 2 away. And now Messersmith has retired 10 men in a row.
Left fielder, Danny Walton.
Walton bounced back to the mound, hit a long home run into the lower deck in left field with a man on in the 4th inning, and then struck out in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Uses a closed stance. The pitch by Messersmith inside, backs him away with a fastball. The Baron doesn't do that very often. Throw that good hard stuff in tight, but he chased Walton away from the plate with that last effort. The pitch swung on and missed. 1-1. Walton with a mighty swing. This young man, Joe DiMaggio, was so high on with that last series that they played up in Oakland. And Bauer, very complimentary about him, too. He's not denied anything in the way of a cut. He tries to bunt here, and it's 1-2 as he fouls it off. He looks aggressive. That's the way he conducts himself there at the plate.
He wraps the bat around his back with each swing. And it's watching him in batting practice, he has very quick hands. He snaps that bat at the ball in a hurry. And the ball just seems to jump off his bat. 1-2 pitch. Swung on it, missed, strike three. The good hard curve got Walton. That's 11 strikeouts for Messersmith, who will probably leave the game for a pinch hitter here in the bottom of the 8th inning. But he leaves after retiring 11 men in a row, the last 11 men in a row, and striking out 11 men. He gets the Pilots in order for the 3rd straight inning. And after 7.5 at the Big A, it's Seattle 5, the Angels 2.
You know, friends, throughout history, men have searched for the fountain of youth. Well, now a fountain of youth for car engines has been discovered at Chevron dealers' standard stations. New Chevron Custom 10W40 motor oil. A remarkable technical achievement by the men at Chevron Standard Research. An oil that actually makes car engines run young again. New Chevron Custom 10W40 clings to moving parts even after your car has been standing overnight. And it's so rugged it won't break down in the hottest freeway drive. Discover the fountain of youth for your car. Chevron Custom 10W40 motor oil at all Chevron dealers' standard stations.
There are more Chevron dealers' standard stations in the West than any other brand, and more experienced men on hand to serve you. More men, more stations, open more hours of the day. That's the secret of Chevron Standard Service.
Bottom of the 8th inning, 5-2 Seattle, and Julie Womack has knocked down the Angels in order the last 3 innings. Winston Jennett will pinch hit for Andy Messersmith, and the first pitch is a curve for a strike. Jennett used almost exclusively as a pinch hitter, has 7 hits and 25 at-bats, a .280 average. The wind by Womack, the 1-strike pitch, a curve. Oh, watch out. There goes the bat right into the Angel dugout, and Bill Voss has to skip right out of the dugout onto the playing field to elude that pinwheeling stick out of the hands of Winston Jennett. That may be the best bat throw by an Angel in 1969. I think that would have to get the honor. We've seen some visiting teams throw some pretty good ones, but that one whistled into the Angel dugout on a line and hit off the back wall. It was still going as it tried to leave the park. Jennett behind 0-2, fooled on that slow curveball. Yes, Jennett had gotten that one in fair territory. That one would have been out into left field someplace. The pitch, strike 3 called. Anthony's the sinker ball. That is the 4th strikeout for Womack. He has retired 10 straight men since coming into the ball game. Here's Sandy Alomar. He's 0 for 3. The Angels have only 4 hits, all off the starter George Brunette, who worked only 4 innings and allowed the 2 runs, both on home runs by Ferguson and Cowan. Askew had a line single to left, and Spencer had a ground single to right. And that's been it. The pitch by Womack. Alomar bunts foul up the third base line. Rolls near the fungo circle on the third base side. Wide right throwing for the Angels. He'll be the pitcher for manager Lefty Phillips in the top of the 9th inning. So Messersmith in 8 innings allows only 4 hits and strikes out 11. But the Pilots lead 5-2. 1 out, bottom of the 8th, the pitch to Alomar. Bunt again up the third base line. Rolling foul as Harper watches it roll onto the grass in foul territory. Alomar had a base hit if he could have dropped that one in fair territory. 0-2 to Sandy, who jogs back to the plate. You know, you look at Tom Seaver's tremendous season, 24 victories now for the Nets. A year ago, Seaver won 16 and lost 12 for New York, and you could compare
his season last year with Messersmith this year. Of course, the Angels hope that the Baron will come back in 1970 with a superb performance all year long, as has been the case with Seaver this year. The two-strike pitch inside. It almost hit Alomar. Fastball right at his feet. He skipped rope as Mccartney made the play. The pilot shifted way around toward left for Alomar as he bats left-handed. The 1-2 pitch. Bunted with 2 strikes. Mccartney out in front of the plate. His quick throw is in time. A good play by the Seattle catcher as he hustled up the third baseline. Caught the ball off the first big hop. He didn't have to go down into the grass to get it, and that allowed him to whirl and fire on to Mincher, getting Alomar by a step. 2 outs. The Angels still trying to get a base runner off Julie Womack, who has worked 3 2/3 perfect innings. Here's Johnstone. He is 0 for 2. Grounded out twice and walked. Womack into the windup, and the pitch. Curve swung on and missed. Harry Halo has moved up into the mezzanine level to our left. I tell you, he's put in as much legwork today as any ball player. He's been all over Anaheim Stadium. And now shouting down, cups his hand, shouts down to the people in the lower deck saying, "Come on down there, you join us." 1 strike. The bunt up the third baseline. It's a good bunt. Harper fields. He throws, not in time. The Angels finally get a base runner off Julie Womack with 2 outs in the 8th inning. That'll bring up Jim Ferguson, and we'll pause for station identification. This is the Angels Baseball Network.
Hear Alex Dreyer commentary every day at 4:50 p.m. on KBUZ and KBUZ FM Mesa, Phoenix Studios and offices in Thomas Mall.
Ferguson, the first time up, hit a long home run over the left field boards, and then the last 2 times has admired third strikes. He's 1 for 3. The pitch swung on, a fly ball down the right field line, slicing away from Whitaker. He's on the run. He can't get to it. Fair ball. There goes Johnstone to third, into second for Ghosty on a double. Johnstone with 2 outs, streaking around second, had taken a turn at third, but Mike Rourke did not want to gamble. He threw up the stop sign. So Johnstone at third, Ferguson at second with his 22nd double. That leads the Angels. And the tying run in the ball game, Rick Reichart steps in. It's 5-2 Seattle. Johnstone with a bunt single at third. And Ferguson's slicing fly ball with Whitaker way into right center field, and Whitaker could not get to it. It landed about 10 feet fair. And now Reichart. He walked, was robbed of a hit by Harper as this smash was backhanded by Tommy behind the bag at third. And then he lined out to the right fielder, Whitaker. Womack able to work from a windup with runners at third and second. Billy Cowan on deck. Angels trying to rally from a 3-run deficit. The line, and here's the pitch. Inside at the hands. Ball 1. And this small but enthusiastic crowd of 5,158 trying to help the Angels along. Angels started tonight 4 games in front of the White Sox and Royals, tied for 4th. The Pilots really have to turn on a winning streak at the end of the year to get out of the cellar. They're 5 games out of 5th place. Runners have their lead. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, line drive, left field, base hit. Johnstone scores from third. Ferguson scores from second. It's 5-4. Dooley Womack handcuffed the Angels
3 2/3 innings. 11 straight men he retired. Then the Angels found out how to get a man on as Johnstone started this 8th inning rally with 2 outs with a bunt single. Ferguson with a fly ball double, and now Reichard with a line drive single to left field to knock in 2 runs to raise his RBI total to 67. And Joe Schultz comes out of the Seattle dugout as Roger Repos is announced as the pinch hitter for Billy Cowan. So this faithful crowd certainly staying here and offering its support for the Angels has now been able to cheer 2 runs in the 8th inning, and we'll see whether or not Joe Schultz will go to the bullpen and bring in his ace, Diego Segui. I believe that's going to be the case. So Womack, excellent pitching, and then suddenly the Angels put it together, a bunt single by Johnstone, a double by Ferguson, and a 2-run single by Rick Reichard at 5-4 with a tying run at first in the form of Rick Reichard, and Repos announced as the pinch hitter. Joe Schultz will change pitchers. Give us a chance. We mentioned earlier on our visit to Baltimore to cover the Rams-Colts game yesterday, we were able to come up with a couple of baseball items out of the Baltimore papers. In the News American, John Stedman's column we referred to earlier regarding the fact that the Orioles will have to hustle to get 1 million in home attendance. They have 5 dates left, and they have drawn thus far 969,000. Stedman said, actually, the Orioles were too good for their own good. They won so many games and opened up such an extensive lead on the rest of the field that the outcome was never in doubt, not even remotely. It was a Baltimore walkaway, ho-hum, and all that, and that's why the fans haven't shown up in greater numbers. Womack leaves as Diego Segui carefully misses the chalk lines on his way to the mound.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Seattle, number 24.
This is the 63rd trip to the mound this year for Segui. He has won 11 and lost 6. He started 8 games. His ERA 3.35. And then Stedman goes on and kind of tongue-in-cheek approach, and he says all kinds of excuses can be offered. One we heard doesn't have much credence, but anyway, here it is. It seems that Chesapeake Bay and the crabs are to blame. Had it been a good mating season, crabs would have been more plentiful and not as expensive. Some crabs were $10.50 to $12 a dozen, so if a man is going to eat crabs or go to see a ball game and can only pay for one or the other, he most of the time is going to order himself the crabs and listen to the game on the radio. So if you want to find a new reason for why the Orioles didn't have greater attendance, then put the rap on the crabs. It is at least a new excuse, one we hadn't heard before. The crab breeding in Chesapeake Bay being blamed for loss of Orioles attendance is reaching just a bit, but not too far. The idea now is to make $1 million. So join the million club, pleads columnist Stedman, as the Orioles need something like 7,000 per game in their final 5 games to reach that 1 million figure. Well, can you imagine what that ball club with those names, Robinsons and the Boog Powells and Cuellar and McNally and Palmer would draw here in Orange County? We might be talking about 2 million. And there'll be a day. All right, Diego Segui, herky-jerky right-hander. He, along with Gene Brabender, the best pitchers on Joe Schultz's staff. Repos, the pinch hitter. The Angels trail 5-4. 2 outs in the 8th. Reichard, the tying run at first base, held on by Don Mincher. Segui at the belt. The pitch to Repos. Swung on and popped up behind the plate. It'll be out of play. Ball's back on the netting. Repos hitting 168 with 6 home runs. The Angels have now out-hit Seattle 7-4, but trail 5-4. The difference in the game, 1 unearned run, and actually there was another questionable run set up by the throwing error by Messersmith back in the 3-run 5th inning for Seattle. Segui chases Reichard back. He had only a 2-step lead.
Outfield deep, pulled toward right. John Donaldson, the second baseman, is a step on the outfield grass for repose. One strike pitch. Roger takes low, 1-1. Cowan, the man for whom repose is hitting, was 1 for 3. That hit a home run in the fourth inning. Cut with his lead. McGee studies the sign. At the belt. Over the left shoulder, checks Reichart the pitch. Swung on, popped up on the infield. Left side, it's the shortstop Stanley who wants it. And in position, he makes the catch. So the Angels in the eighth inning get 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and leave 1. And after 8 innings of play, it's Seattle 5, the Angels 4.
Don, there's something bothering me.
Big, like international problems, or small, like something you ate?
Medium, like all the people who haven't come out yet to visit Busch Gardens.
Yeah, with so many places around that cost big money, and places they can't take the kids.
You just hope they know about it. Great for a day, or the entire family.
And they can prove to themselves why Busch is the best popular priced beer in America. See it right in front of their eyes.
Sample the results. The hospitality.
So when do we tell them about it?
We've run out of time.
Have a glass. Or visit our Los Angeles brewery, and we will prove it.
The Angel pitcher is Clyde Wright as we open the top of the 9th inning. Wright in relief of Andy Messersmith, who worked 8 innings, allowed 5 runs, 4 of them earned, only 4 hits. He walked 1, and that one man led off an inning, and it started a 3-run inning for Seattle in the 5th. And he struck out 11 men, top for the Angels this year, the second time that the Baron has thrown an 11 strikeout game. The Padres have scored a run in the bottom of the 6th inning to tie the Giants 2-2. The Giants need to win to stay in front of the Atlanta Braves, who were victorious earlier. The Dodgers lost a heartbreaker tonight in Cincinnati, leading 1-0 in the bottom of the 9th. The Reds rolled a 2 to beat Los Angeles 2-1 and drive that stake deeper into the heart of the Dodger plan to win the National League West. Clyde Wright, appearing for the 34th time, has 1-1 and lost 8. His ERA 4.35. He will face Steve Hobley, Don Mincher, 2 left-handed hitters, and then the catcher, Jerry McCartney. Tomorrow night, Miguel Fuentes for the Pilots. He's 1-1 against the red-headed right-hander Jim McLaughlin, 8-15. Hobley, glad that Messersmith is gone, struck out all 3 times against the Barons. Right winds, kicks, and his first pitch is a fastball high. The Pilots have made their hits count. The 1-0 delivery. Butted right off the mound, makes a good play, flips on to Spencer for the out. Hobley trying to drag it by the mound, but Wright pounced off the rubber, gloved the ball off his shoe tops as he angled toward first base, and then lobbed the throw on to Spencer 1 step ahead of Hobley. 1 away. Here's Don Mincher, 0 for 3. Slide out, struck out, and popped out. Dick Bainey, a right-hander, throwing now for Seattle. And Ken Tatum loosening up for the Angels just in case. The pitch to Mincher. Fastball at the knees for a strike. Minch has had a good year. His average does not reflect it, 237, but he's made his hits count. 23 home runs. He's driven in 73. One strike pitch. Curve, it's in the dirt. Bounces out in front of the plate, out of the glove of Askew. 1-1. The Pilots have not wasted a hit. All four figuring in their scoring. The pitch. Curve. Check swing. He did not go around. 2-1 to Mincher. We have nearly 6,000 with us tonight. 5,158 paid. I hope we'll see you tomorrow night. Game time 8 o'clock. Final two games of 1969 at the Big A. Tomorrow night and Wednesday night. 2-1 delivery. Foul back by Mincher. Angel infield of Marty Perez at third. Ferguson at short. Alomar at second. Spencer at first. Outfield of Reichart, Johnstone, and Roger Repos. The catcher is Askew and Clyde Wright, working in the top of the ninth inning in relief of starter Andy Messersmith. Right into the windup. The 2-2 pitch to Mincher. Strike three called. A fastball caught the corner. And Mincher is very unhappy. He gives Bob Stewart a glare as he, after staying in the batter's box for about 10 seconds, just spins out, looks the umpire in the eye, and walks toward the dugout, swinging the lumber behind. And now resists the temptation, does not throw the bat nor the helmet, just drops them carefully into the corner of the dugout. Here's McCartney. He takes a fastball for a strike. So the Angel pitchers have struck out 12 Pilots tonight. Well, Willie Mays has hit his 600th home run. One strike pitch is grounded foul by Ron Plaza, the first base coach of the Pilots. With the score tied 2-2 in the seventh inning at San Diego, Mays has just homered with a man on. That gives the Giants a 4-2 lead. Mays 13th this year and the 600th in his great career. So Ruth and Mays, the only hitters ever over 600. Two-strike pitch to McCartney. High and tight. A lot of youngsters here tonight who are trying to help out the Angel pitchers. As the pitcher Wright winds and delivers, they begin a cry and try to coax the hitter to swing at the pitch. Listen. Ground ball to second. Alomar up with it. His throw to first in time, and Wright retires the Pilots in order in the ninth inning. So we go to the bottom of the ninth at the Big A, with the Pilots leading 5-4. Favorite sports writers talk about baseball superstars. They say such things as he's got a lot going for him. So let me just say that when you go Continental, you've got a lot going for you. Whether it's to Chicago or Houston or Denver or any of the other great places Continental serves. Continental Airlines, the proud bird with the golden tail, gets its pride from facts. Sure, skill and charm and efficiency are definitely part of it. But the deep-down pride comes from the fact that we are an all-fan jet fleet. The Continental took out one seat per row and coached in economy in order to make the other five wider and more comfortable. And added the director of passenger service on board who can do things for you no one else can. So get a lot going for you. Go Continental and feel the difference pride makes. And on the message board, a salute for the man who just hit his 600th home run down at San Diego. Willie Mays has just hit, in big numerals up there, 600th home run of his major league career. So an Anaheim salute from all of us to Willie Mays of the San Francisco Giants. Dick, tomorrow night, I think that we should just increase some of our activity out here at Anaheim Stadium. We should designate tomorrow night as Dick Nelson Appreciation Night. Well, maybe we get more fans out here just to kind of stand around and appreciate Dick Nelson.
Maybe we could have him go out and sit in the general admission section.
All right. He always wanted to chase Sparks out here in the general admission section.
The bottom bottom of the ninth inning. The Angels need a run to tie, trailing 5-4. It'll be Joe Askew, Jim Spencer, and then Marty Perez. It was interesting as the message board spelled out the announcement, Willie Mays hitting his 600th home run, and the crowd reacted. All the pilots turned around to read the board. The pitch by Segui is fouled out of play, upstairs to the right. And the man who stared at it longest was young shortstop Fred Stanley. And you had to wonder, in the eyes of that young man who was yet to hit his first Major League home run, that someday he might have dreamed of something big. Certainly not 600 home runs, but something big might be placed up there with his name attached to it. The pitch, fly ball to right, hit well, but Whitaker is right there. Drifting back toward the warning track, makes the catch. One away. Here's Jim Spencer. Spencer is 1 for 3. He's hit the ball hard twice, singling to right, lining to center, and then he grounded out to the first baseman, Mincher. Bill Voss is out of the Angel dugout. He'll be used as a pinch hitter for Marty Perez, who is in the number 8 spot in the order. Angels have a pair of right-handers throwing, and so do the pilots. The wind by Segui, the pitch. Foul back to the screen. The Angels got a home run from Ferguson in the first inning. The Pilots got a 2-run home run off the bat of Danny Walton in the top of the fourth. To go ahead 2-1. The Angels tied it in the bottom of the fourth, 2-2, on Cowan's fourth home run of the year. Then the Pilots scored 3 runs in the fifth. The Angels trying to play catch-up were shackled by Dooley Womack until the bottom of the eighth when they got 2 runs with 2 outs. And now it's Diego Segui. The one-strike pitch to Spencer. High with a fastball, 1-1. Eddie Fisher and Ken Tatum are the Angel right-handers. Dick Bainey now is joined by a left-hander in the Seattle bullpen. Might be O'Donoghue. 1-1 pitch from Segui to Spencer. Swung on and missed. He chased a high fastball. It is O'Donoghue. Diego Segui. And certainly when the Seattle Pilots think about 1970, he's a solid name that they'll count on. Unless they make a major deal, he's highly sought by many clubs. Outfield deep and toward right. Segui takes a lot of time, so Spencer backs out, and now Segui walks toward the third base side of the mound and kind of kicks at the dirt. Jerry McCartney races out to the mound to talk to Segui, gives him a little short pat and a short word, and then quickly returns to the plate. For Seattle. 1 out, bottom of the ninth inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the pitch to Spencer. Curve is high. And I imagine what McCartney went out to say to Segui is, if you're going to throw that pitch, throw it low. Don't hang it upstairs. And Segui did just what the Pilots did not want him to do, to hang it upstairs, but it was too high for Spencer to even take a shot at it. Spencer wants to see the ball, and plate umpire Bob Stewart examines it and keeps it in play. Two and two to Spence. Mincher deep and guarding the line at the edge of the outfield grass at first. Donaldson on the grass at second. Guarding the line a step behind the bag at third, Tommy Harper. And the shortstop, Fred Stanley, deep at short, straight away. Outfield toward right, playing Spencer to pull. Segui is set. The 2-2 pitch. Curve, line drive, right at the second baseman, Donaldson. He has it off his shoe top, 2 away. It was not a hard hit line drive. Spencer was fooled. He was out in front on the pitch. He hit it sharply, but not the kind of ball that's going to handcuff Donaldson. He was able to take a couple of steps to his left and make the catch. Now Bill Voss introduced as the pinch hitter for Marty Perez. 2 outs, no one on. And again, Segui and his catcher McCartney convert. Circle now. If the Angels can keep it alive, he will pinch hit for the pitcher right. The wind by Segui, the delivery to Voss is high, ball one. Voss has done an excellent job and has raised his average to 265. That's 1 point behind Jay Johnstone. Bill has 2 home runs. The 1-ball pitch. Low fastball, 2-0. Like Johnstone, with a chance to play regularly, has delivered. The 2-0 pitch from Diego Segui. Swung on, line drive over the leaping Donaldson into right field. Voss is on with a line single, and that'll bring up Bubba Morton. The hit total over Seattle. They have 8, but trail 5-4. Manager Joe Schultz motioning for his right fielder Whitaker to move toward the right field line. Whitaker was flying into right center and moved about 15 yards into straightaway right field for Bubba. They play Morton straightaway and deep. They're trying to protect against the extra base hit. Morton hitting .244 with 7 home runs. Voss the tying run. Leads away. The pitch. Fastball for a strike. Drilled on that outside corner. Mincher holding on the runner Voss. Rocky Bridges trying to help him with his lead. Segui at the belt. The 1-strike pitch. High. 1-1. Sandy Alomar on deck. 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th inning. The Angels with 2 outs in the 8th got consecutive hits from Johnstone, Ferguson, and Reichart to score 2 runs. Segui nods okay. At the belt. Checks the runner. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Slider. It's 1-2. Now with 2 strikes on him, Bubba will concentrate on not the home run, but trying to get a line drive somewhere. Bubba backs out, asks for time, accommodated by plate umpire Bob Stewart. As Segui, who has been very deliberate, suddenly started to work quickly to Bubba. He was not set. Segui is set. The 1-2 pitch. Low, and he just missed. In fact, Segui was starting to walk and did walk off the mound toward the dugout, trying to influence Stewart. It didn't miss by much. And I'm sure down in that Seattle dugout, someone is yelling, how can he take a pitch like that? With a count 1-2. Giants on Mays' home run lead San Diego 4-2 after 6.5. Here it's 5-4 Seattle. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bubba Morton. Segui is ready. And here's his pitch. High, ball 3. A high slider, and Bubba started to swing and just did check in time. So that gives the Angels an advantage. With 3 and 2 and 2 outs, Voss will have a running start, and on an extra base hit could conceivably score the tying run. It'd be tough to hit one in an alley, as the outfielders are all very deep. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Morton had started toward first base. Plate umpire Bob Stewart said, come on back. The game is over, as Segui caught the outside edge with a slider. So Segui records his 11th save of the season to go with his 11 victories. And the Angels, despite the fact that they had twice as many hits as the Pilots, succumb to Seattle 5-4. Game 2 tomorrow night. Don is set with a total, and here's how they read.
Time of the ball game, 2 hours and 22 minutes. And for the Pilots, 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 1 man left. Now the Angels, 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, stands at 5 men. And the winner, Julie Womack. The loss goes to Andy Messersmith. Andy's record now, 16 victories and 10 defeats. Our paid attendance, 5,158. Will be visiting with young Danny Walton of the Seattle Pilots, the young man from La Puente. We'll have Danny as our guest on Angel Report, and that will follow in a few minutes.
California Angels baseball is brought to you by Chevron Dealers Standard Stations, where there are more men on hand to serve you best. More men, more stations, open more hours of the day. That's the secret of Chevron Standard service. By Anheuser-Busch, brewers of Michelob, Budweiser, and Busch, the best popular priced beer in America. Pour yourself a glass or visit our Los Angeles brewery and we will prove it. By Continental Airlines, the only airline with coach and economy seats as wide as first class on all their Boeing fan jets. Continental Airlines, the proud bird with